OPEC has taken a decisive action that is disrupting the United States energy strategy. For a time, the U.S. seemed in control, with domestic oil production surging and liquefied natural gas (LNG) exports increasing. Washington projected energy independence, signaling reduced reliance on foreign oil. However, OPEC has responded forcefully, tightening its grip on global supply, raising prices, and reasserting its dominance in the global oil market. The reason behind OPEC's strategic move is clear. The rise of U.S. shale oil threatened its market share. American energy exports encroached on OPEC's traditional customer base in Europe and Asia. In response, OPEC reduced production, manipulated prices, and reinforced its control over the market. The goal is not just profit, it's about maintaining geopolitical leverage and ensuring long-term dominance. Under former President Trump, U.S. energy policy aimed to redefine the country's global role. The strategy was aggressive: expand drilling, increase exports, and weaken OPEC's influence. Federal lands were opened for extraction, leading to record-high production. Initially, this approach appeared successful, with increased exports and declining oil prices. However, producing oil is one thing, controlling the global market is another. OPEC's counteraction has exposed the limits of the U.S. strategy. OPEC is not a monolithic entity. It is a coalition of nations with competing interests. The complex relationship between Saudi Arabia and Iran adds to the challenge. Despite their differences, both countries share a common goal: countering U.S. influence. Iran has urged OPEC members to unite against U.S. sanctions, while Saudi Arabia is carefully regulating production to maintain high prices. This fragile alliance makes OPEC's strategy even more effective. The moment OPEC acted, markets reacted. Oil prices spiked, triggering volatility in energy stocks, currency fluctuations, and investor uncertainty. The combination of OPEC's production cuts and ongoing sanctions on Russian oil has created an unstable global market. The situation extends beyond crude oil. Higher transportation costs, rising food prices, and fluctuating energy rates impact consumers worldwide. A critical challenge for the U.S. is the nature of its oil production. U.S. shale oil is light and sweet, whereas many American refineries are designed for heavier crude, primarily sourced from OPEC nations. When OPEC reduces supply, these refineries cannot easily switch to domestic alternatives without expensive modifications. This forces the U.S. to either import heavier crude at higher costs or face production inefficiencies. Despite progress toward energy independence, the U.S. remains vulnerable, and OPEC is fully aware of this weakness. What are the U.S. options, diplomacy, or countermeasures? Engaging OPEC diplomatically could stabilize the situation, but aligning with its diverse members is complex. Alternatively, the U.S. could flood the market with domestic oil to pressure OPEC. However, this approach carries risks. Miscalculations could backfire, causing further price volatility instead of stabilization. Major oil-importing nations, including India and European countries, are closely monitoring this standoff. Some are already adapting. India is securing long-term LNG agreements with the U.S. to reduce reliance on OPEC, while Europe is accelerating investments in renewable energy to mitigate future oil price shocks. The geopolitical landscape is shifting, and the nations that adjust swiftly will emerge stronger. Meanwhile, other global players are capitalizing on the turmoil. Russia and Iran are expanding their energy partnerships, filling market gaps and increasing their influence. Countries like Malaysia and Vietnam are positioning themselves as regional energy hubs. In every crisis, there are those who benefit, and right now, the most agile nations are securing deals that will shape the energy market for years. For consumers, This geopolitical struggle translates into rising costs. Gasoline prices are climbing, heating expenses are increasing, and transportation costs are affecting food and retail prices. In some areas, even electricity rates are tied to oil prices, further amplifying financial strain on households. How long will this situation persist? It depends on how events unfold. OPEC is playing a long-term game, strategically managing production and expansion to maintain its grip on the market. Saudi Arabia and Iraq, for instance, are increasing production capacity while carefully controlling exports to reinforce their influence. Iraq's recent discovery of a significant oil field near Baghdad further strengthens OPEC's long-term strategy. While the U.S. focuses on immediate challenges, OPEC is looking ahead. Its objective is clear: remain indispensable and ensure the world remains reliant on its oil supply. Although the U.S. has boosted production, this alone is not enough to counter OPEC's maneuvers. Policymakers are now debating the best path forward. Some advocate for further expanding oil production, while others argue for accelerating the transition to renewable energy. The challenge is that neither option provides an immediate solution. Expanding oil infrastructure takes years, and renewables cannot yet replace oil at scale. As the U.S. navigates this balancing act, global investors are watching OPEC's every move. Each decision impacts oil prices, market stability, and geopolitical alignments. The world is waiting to see what happens next. Will OPEC maintain its grip, or will the U.S. implement a game-changing strategy? One thing is certain: the outcome of this struggle will shape the global energy landscape for years to come. I have shared my opinion, but what do you think? Leave your comment, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. See you soon.